This spot may not look like much now, but back in the spring of 1970, when the Willingdon Arena stood proudly on this spot, this place was rockin'. I remember because I was there.
Barry Lang's behind the net. For Chambers, he's into the corner. Here's Taranto. Chambers goes to the front of the net. He shoots. He scores! George Chambers scores for the Regals.
Just 15 years removed from the official arrival of the sport in Powell River, thanks to the construction of the Willingdon Arena, the 1969-70 Powell River Regals put the Upper Sunshine Coast on the hockey map by playing for 216 days, including a 26-game playoff schedule en route to a maiden national championship. It was a long and grueling run, first through teams like Comox and Port Alberni to win the Pacific Coast title, then winning the BC Provincial Koi Cup over Chemainus, Kimberley, and Prince George. However, as the playoffs continued, Powell River benefited from some good luck.
It was one of those years where everybody from out of the province come to Powell River. We went to Lloydminster twice and lost there. And other than that, I don't think we went anywhere else other than just to Victoria and the Okanagan and Prince George and those places. But yeah, it was a special year. And then Rosetown, Saskatchewan come here first, and we beat them. And then Lloydminster come, and we beat them. And then it was Val-d'Or, Quebec.
Crowned as Western Canada champions thanks to the wins over Rosetown and Lloydminster, the Regals looked to complete the Triple Crown and claim their first national championship. The team was filled with many from the Powell River Mill, who recruited hockey players to work.
Working for 90 cents an hour underground, working out here 365 in a mill, we couldn't believe the money guys were making. So that's what we did.
I know Don Cherry, when he talked about the Regals, talked about them being a lunch bucket team. These are guys that went to work every morning after those games, put a shift in at their jobs, at the mill or other places, and then came out and played that night. So everywhere they went, that's all people wanted to talk about to them, and that's all we wanted to talk about to each other.
As Western Canada champions, Powell River then earned the right to host the national championship. Val-d'Or was the opponent, traveling to the Sunshine Coast from Quebec. After a Game 1 win, Powell River faced a must-win Game 4, following 2 Val-d'Or victories. The Regals prevailed and set up a winner-take-all Game 5.
There were occasions when, in a certain game, I couldn't stand it anymore, and I would just leave and go down into the women's washroom. And I remember being there one time because we were behind by 2 goals. And I was pacing up and down, and then I heard the crowd cheer, and I knew that we scored a goal. And then I heard them cheer again, and they scored a second goal. I believe it was Dave Peranto, and he scored both those goals. And then I came out and watched the end of the game.
It was all anyone was talking about. Like, I was only 11 years old, so I was still in school, and the kids in school, that's all we talked about was the Regals and how things were going. Because, I mean, each win, as they kind of climbed the ladder, just ratcheted up the excitement even more.
The crowd was very much involved, really very vocal. They, and I think coming into town for these out-of-towners, probably they noticed it a lot more than we did, because the town was very much in our favor.
The rest was history. Powell River claimed Game 5 and a national championship. And now, the 1969-70 Powell River Rodmay Regals claim their spot as members of the Powell River Sports Hall of Fame.